my god, I'm so sorry, Eunice.
Oh, it's no problem, Alan. Where are you off in a rush to?
iop actually just released their fall 2022 youth poll.
Harvard Public Opinion Project?
Yeah, for over 20 years, we've been conducting the nation's top poll of young Americans aged 18 to 29 on their political opinions, voting trends, and views of public service. Sorry, everyone. Let's get started. Our fall findings just came in, and here's what they say.
With just 12 days until the 2022 midterms, it's time to talk about turnout amongst young voters. Youth turnout is on track to match 2018's historic turnout, with 40% of young Americans reporting that they will definitely be voting.
And the composition of the youth electorate doesn't look all that different from 2018, with no significant change in expected turnout by race, gender, education status, or party. But we do see that young Democrats and white voters have been energized since the spring, and that young people with a college education or who live in battleground states are more likely to vote than their fellow Gen Zers.
So, who will young voters be turning out for? By a 2-to-1 margin, young likely voters prefer Democrats control Congress, with 57% throwing their support behind the Democrats and 31% rooting for the Republicans. 12% remain undecided.
Importantly, since the spring, the margin of support for Democrats has increased by 5 points overall, a rise driven by increased support from women, white Americans, and college students.
Among both Democrats and Republicans, more than 3 in 5 indicated that their vote is more of a sign of support for their party rather than a rejection of the other. In other words, partisans were voting for their party rather than against the other one.
Across the board, young Americans feel like their rights are under attack. 7 in 10 young Americans feel like the rights of others are under attack in America today, while nearly 6 in 10 feel like their own rights are under attack.
In particular, members of the LGBTQ community and women are especially concerned about their individual rights. And this may be motivating turnout too. Young people who believe their rights are under attack are more likely to vote than those who don't believe their rights are under attack by a considerable margin.
Now that we know who is turning out, let's talk about why they're turning out. 28% of young Americans identified inflation as the most important issue determining their vote this upcoming election. And this sentiment is shared by both Democrats and Republicans. Although for Democrats, issues such as abortion and protecting our democracy follow closely in salience. For women, abortion overtakes inflation marginally as the top issue driving them to the polls.
And what about Biden? We see that Biden is broadly unpopular, but many of his policies are quite popular among young Americans. Following declining trends, only around 39% of young Americans approve of President Biden's job performance. But at the same time, a majority support many of his policies, such as the Inflation Reduction Act, student loan debt cancellation, and the bipartisan gun reform bill.
And those are our top findings for the fall 2022 youth poll. Go to iop.harvard.edu for the full findings, and be sure to follow @HarvardIOP on socials for the latest updates.